Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Monday, the 26th day of May 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shoutouts. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. We want to extend our sincere condolences to the family of Mr. Bob Anderson, who was buried on Saturday, as well as his Cayman Airways family as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. And again, this morning, we want to give a big shout out to our two colleagues here at Radio Cayman, DJ Lynn and Mr. Joel Wilson, wishing them a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy and sometimes dangerous roads of the Cayman Islands. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I have the distinct pleasure and honor of being your host. My name is Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Of course, we have many beautiful voices here in the Cayman Islands, But the beautiful voice of the Cayman Islands, Miss Susan Watson, is waiting to take your calls. If you call us on our toll-free number provided, courtesy of Flo, that toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp 925-3261. So let's look at the birthday shout-outs. And last week was pretty hectic, pretty busy, so I was unable to share some with you. So we have on the 23rd of May, Aiden Bailey celebrated a birthday. That was on the 23rd. That would have been, what, Friday? Miss Teresita De Silva celebrating her birthday today, the 26th of May. Cheryl Anglin also celebrating birthday today on the 26th of May. Martina Borden will celebrate her birthday on the 28th of May, as well as Alara De Silva celebrating a birthday on the 28th of May as well. So I'm more than happy to share all of those birthday shout-outs as well. And we also see that today Miss Shirley Jervis celebrating her birthday today. So happy birthday to Shirley Jervis. And upcoming birthdays tomorrow, the 27th of May, David C. Black celebrating his birthday, as well as Kevin Hossam celebrating a birthday. And again, to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-out brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. Let's share some other stuff with you, good things with you this morning as well. Summertime is here, folks. Summertime is here, and people will be traveling. Some of you already have all of your travel documents in order. Some will be waiting until the last moment. Some will arrive at the airport check-in counter, and when the ticket agent then looks into the passport and they see that the passport has either expired or your ESTA has expired or something has happened. So the Passport and Corporate Services Office, they are encouraging preparedness. Be prepared. If you're a scout or a cub, that would be, you would know that that is our motto. Be prepared. So, Passport and Corporate Services Office is urging the public to ensure their passports are valid and secured ahead of the hurricane season, which begins Sunday, the 1st of June, 2025. To prepare, the public should check their passport expiry date to ensure validity for the dates of travel. You should also check that your passport is valid according to the country's entry requirements. For example, when traveling to the United States, the British Overseas Territories passport must be valid for at least 6 months after the date of intended departure from the United States. Not before you go, but the date of departure from the United States. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months. That is your British Overseas Territories passport. That's the one that says Cayman Islands on it. Some of you are fortunate to have the Cayman, or I should put that fortunate in quotations, because there are still many who are suspicious of the grant of British citizenship by the United Kingdom to us in 2002. Some people are still suspicious of that, but if you're fortunate to have both a British Overseas Territories citizen passport as well as a British passport, then you must make the distinction between the two. Of course, on a British Overseas Territories passport, you can travel, if you're traveling directly from the Cayman Islands to the United States, you can obtain a waiver through the Passport and Corporate Services as opposed to requiring a visa. Or you can apply for a visa. Of course, you'll have to travel to the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, Jamaica to obtain that. If you are traveling on a British passport, you can apply for the ESTA, or again, you can apply for a visa as well. So point number 2 was to check that your passport is valid according to the country's entry requirements. For example, when traveling to the United States, the British Overseas Territories passport must be valid for at least 6 months after the date of intended departure from the United States. Also, you should apply for and renew passports ahead of your travel time. If applying for the issuance of the British citizen passport, submit only colored copies of the valid British Overseas Territories citizen Cayman Islands passport. That's a part of the process. So you should provide with your application colored copies of your British Overseas Territories citizen Cayman Islands passport. You should apply for and process any necessary visa as required for their travel. And I'm going to say again, the days of when you would have the passport office, people from the passport office coming out on a Saturday or on a Sunday to issue waivers or whatever to assist people, that doesn't take place any longer unless it's possibly some medical emergency or something like that. So don't rely on the old days when everybody knew everybody and people would try to help you out. Do things on time. Also, that you should apply for and process any necessary visa as required for the travel, and make copies of your passports and key documents and store them in waterproof containers in a place where they can be easily accessed during emergencies. And if you want any additional information on passport or corporate service, members of the public may contact the Passport and Corporate Services at 345-649-7678 or 345-943-7678, or you can contact them via email at passportandcorporate@gov.ky. Now, I heard one, I won't say it was a rumor because it was only coming from one individual, talking about the fact that police clearance certificates, sometimes we refer colloquially to them as police records, will soon be required, that King Charles III is changing things, which puts a question mark to things, because King Charles really doesn't have anything to do with nationality laws. It's the British government as opposed to the monarch. But someone was saying that they will soon be requiring police clearance certificates when you're applying for a British passport. Not sure whether or not that is the case, or whether or not in the process of applying, you have, if you are a British Overseas Territory citizen and you automatically, by law, are a British citizen as well, and you activate that citizenship by applying for a passport, then what is required is completely different than if you become a British Overseas Territory citizen later on, subsequent to the granting of British citizenship. Then you have to apply to be registered as a British citizen. Maybe in that registration process, evidence of good character may be required. So maybe that was what the person was referring to. But bear in mind, there's a distinction between, let's say, for instance, when the law came into effect that British Overseas Territory, those persons who were British Overseas Territory citizen also acquired British citizenship, and all you had to do was apply for it to activate it. I, at the time, would have qualified. But if I chose not to apply then and I choose to apply now, I do not have to apply to be to be registered as a British citizen. I gain it automatically, even though I have waited years to actually activate it, as opposed to if I just became a British Overseas Territory citizen today. Then, in order to become a British citizen, after I have obtained all of the qualifications, then I can apply for it. We have to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Swanson Curry Ebanks, 1914 through 1989. Curry Ebanks was the oldest of 10 children of John Audnet and Celestia Elvira Ebanks and attended West Bay Primary School. Taught by some of the great Caymanian sea captains, he took command of his first ship at 17. He qualified as a master mariner at 21 and continued his life at sea until a car accident terminated his maritime career in 1960. He married 3 times and was widowed twice, and he fathered 8 children. He is best remembered for his victorious battle with the 1944 hurricane, which overtook his ship, the Jemson, en route from Swan Island to Grand Cayman. At the height of the storm, he decided to demast the ship to prevent it from rolling over, which would have meant certain death for everyone aboard. During the next 8 days, the ship had to be demasted 3 times. Each time, Captain Curry had the sails put into a seaman's bag and attached to the bow to function as a sea anchor, guiding the ship purely by dead reckoning. When the storm subsided and he got his first confirmed sighting, he was 5 miles off East End.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Ready for some real magic this summer? Coca-Cola is giving your family the chance to win a trip to the happiest place on earth, Disney World, Orlando. Just buy any 8-pack of Coca-Cola or Sprite products at participating stores island-wide for your chance to make this summer even more magical. Imagine the laughter, the memories, the adventure, all with an ice-cold Coca-Cola in hand. Coca-Cola, real magic is just a sip away.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet, but we will at 8:15 continue our conversation with Mr. Arden McLean. He is paid for the slot, and we were short on time on Friday, so he will be back in this morning with us, again, talking about the aborted judicial application for judicial review in terms of cabinet's appointments of members of the National Conservation Council. That will begin at after 8 o'clock news, around about 8:15 this morning. Let's go back and look at some more birthday shout-outs. One of our listeners over in the Brac has said, blessings to you. I would like to send special happy birthday greetings to my sister, Vicky Powell, and my nephew, Brandon Myrie, who are celebrating their birthdays today. Sending lots of love, prayers, and blessings on their special day from your sister and aunt, Rose Myrie in the Brac. So happy birthday greetings to Miss Vicky Powell and Mr. Brandon Myrie. I think we have some other stuff here, do we? Let's see, any more birthday shout-outs? Okay, no more birthday shout-outs there. Make sure I double-check all of my devices to ensure that we haven't missed anyone else. No. Okay, we have a belated birthday greetings to go out to Luke Gonzalez as well. Happy belated birthday to you, coming from your family as well. Okay, so what I am going to want to discuss later on today, during the course of the show before 10 o'clock, this whole issue of the civil service rollover plan. We know, I suspect that we will see quite a bit of opposition to this. So my first words would be for the government and the people of the Cayman Islands who support this endeavor to remain resolute, stand firm, and while we want to be fair in our dealings, we also want to ensure that whatever is done is compliant with our Constitution, with our Bill of Rights, but we should not let people who solely for selfish reasons would not want this to occur. So far, the arguments that I am seeing in relation to this, no one so far has spoken about the people of the Cayman Islands, the indigenous people of the Cayman Islands, our right to ensure our survivability, to ensure that whatever opportunities are afforded for in the Cayman Islands, that they are first and foremost for Caymanians. We have to ensure that we remain resolute in this effort, and people need to support the government. The government also needs to ensure that it connects with those who support them, those who have a platform that they can speak to the people of the Cayman Islands, that they can support them as well. That is extremely important. One question that I still have to look for in relation to this, because this one can be tricky, whether or not the policy will extend to statutory authorities and government companies as well. We know that there are some statutory authorities and government companies that have to apply for work permits for their non-Caymanian employees, and there are some companies and statutory authorities that have been exempted from that as well. We can't have this going all over the place. It has to be consistent. We know that there will be arguments coming from various entities in terms of the specialized skills that they need and, all of those things. But I will be monitoring, I will be looking at all of the comments, and I will be critiquing, all of them as well. For example, and we have to watch everything that they say, everything that they do. This senior civil servant who is Cayman Anon, supposedly, like I said before, I have my suspicions about that. I was looking for the article just now, but I have to find it. But I believe that there was one publication that spoke about the fact that the this was addressed to the governor and deputy governor. But we see where this in the Cayman News Service article, they say that this opinion was emailed to Governor Jane Owen and Deputy Governor Franz Manderson and copied to Cayman News Service. So the question is whether or not it was intended as an article for Cayman News Service, Cayman Anon, and Viewpoint in their column about viewpoint, or whether or not this Anon senior civil servant actually directly sent it to the governor and the deputy governor, or whether or not it was sent to everyone. Time check. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will have a conversation like I spoke about earlier. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Hungry? Let's eat. Foster's Bay Market Cafe is now on the Let's Eat app. Blazing Asian, fresh off the wok. Dive into the rich, savory goodness of kimchi fried rice or a bold Thai red curry. Craving noodles? Pad Thai and ginger chow mein bring the perfect balance of flavor and texture. And for the ultimate comfort in a bowl, try our pork ramen. Slow simmered broth, tender pork, and perfectly chewy noodles. Spice, sizzle, and satisfaction in every bite. Let's eat. Foster's. Better flavors because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The National Weather Service says it's ready for the upcoming 2025 hurricane season. Here's CIG-TV's Levita Thompson.
Director General Mr. John Tibbetts spoke with CIG-TV News about what he and his team are expecting in the coming months.
As we are approaching the 2025 hurricane season, we are looking at a prediction that is fairly similar to last year. The predictions are just a bit lower than they were last year. And so we are always prepared to handle whatever comes our way. And everyone is reminded that it only takes one hurricane to make the season very special for individuals to remember, as it were. I'm reminded that the year that Hurricane Andrew hit Florida was an inactive year. So it only takes one. And the National Weather Service will continue to move ahead and warn you accordingly.
CIG-TV is the National Weather Service's trusted media partner during storm events. Ensure that you stay tuned to this and all other government channels throughout the season for preparedness tips and special reports.
It's a turtle rescue on World Turtle Day. After getting a report of a turtle in distress, the Department of Environment turtle team went out on the hunt, managing to locate and rescue the mature green sea turtle that had become entangled in fishing line. The large turtle was hooked in the mouth, and the line had been wrapped from its mouth around one of its front flippers. Without help, he likely would not have survived. The team were able to find the turtle, bring him onto a boat, and cut the line free. They also tagged him before releasing him, making him the first adult green male turtle tagged by DOE teams. Usually only females are tagged when they come onto the beach to nest, so this was a, quote, unique opportunity to tag an adult male turtle. This turtle had a lucky escape, but each year turtles are killed from fishing line entanglement, so please always discard fishing line appropriately. And if you accidentally hook a sea turtle, cut the line as close to the hook as possible, or unhook it, but only if it's possible to do so without damaging the turtle's mouth. If you encounter a sea turtle entangled in fishing line, you can report it to the 24-hour turtle hotline 938-NEST. That's 6378. And terminal upgrade works are starting at Charles Kirkconnell International Airport on Cayman Brac today. These will involve replacing the ceiling and floors in the check-in hall as part of ongoing efforts to improve the terminal's appearance and, quote, provide world-class airport services and enhance passenger experience. During this time, there may be noise disruption as these works are being carried out. The CIAA apologizes for any inconvenience. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Chris Barrow. Hospital directors in Gaza say overnight Israeli strikes have killed at least 54 people. At least 35 died in a school sheltering displaced people in Gaza City. 19 were reported killed in a house in Jabalia. Israel says a controversial aid mechanism bypassing the UN and charities has begun operating in the Gaza Strip just hours after its head resigned. Private American security contractors will oversee a process whereby selected Palestinians will pick up food from distribution points. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia sent in more than 350 attack drones overnight, the biggest number since it launched its invasion. Earlier, President Trump said Vladimir Putin had gone absolutely crazy. Austria's former Chancellor, Sebastian Kurz, has won his appeal against a conviction of giving false testimony to a parliamentary committee. The court overturned the 8-month suspended prison sentence that Mr. Kurz received a year ago. The Japanese government is to release an extra 300,000 tons of rice from its stockpiles to bring down sky-high prices. The price of rice has doubled in the last year. UN human rights experts have urged Azerbaijan to release the activist Anar Mamadi, who's been in detention for over a year. Mr. Mamadi was arrested shortly after reporting irregularities during Azerbaijan's presidential election in February last year. That's the latest BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, site screenings, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 86%. The barometric pressure is 30.02 inches and rising. The wind is east at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate a weak ridge remains across the northwest Caribbean, supporting light to moderate winds and seas today across the Cayman Islands. Further east, a tropical wave currently over the eastern Caribbean is expected to move into the Cayman area by tomorrow evening, increasing the chance of isolated showers. Radar images show showers in and around the Cayman Islands moving towards the west. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of afternoon showers, and temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index near 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Forecast for tonight is calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're presently at a high tide, and the next low tide will be this afternoon at 2:56 and a high tide again tonight at 9:51. The sun will set this evening at 6:56 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:48. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Wednesday evening. Further east, a plume of Saharan dust is forecast to approach the Cayman area beginning Wednesday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Brit K. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit K, where people come first.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
The 24th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Joy, is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 29th at the Hawkwill Theatre. Proudly sponsored by Cayman Electrical Supply, Alba Elevators, Alba Services, Elite Marble and Granite, Brown's Esso, Mike's Esso, Delworth's Esso, Ministry of Border Control, Labor and Culture, AA Rubis, and Dr. Steve Tomlinson. Tickets are available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner Circle Sports. Prepaid tickets, $15 CI or $20 at the gate. Talent Exposition of the Arts, poetry, dance, musical theater, and creative teachings. Hosted by Anika Connolly and Lloyd Barker. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Foundation Educational Development Training Program of the Arts.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning again. This time we take a look at what's happening on the roads. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is flowing moderately. Further down to different stores, traffic is steady but flowing as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Also on Crew Road, traffic is slow moving, heading to Georgetown, and eastbound traffic on Crew Road is moving along swiftly. Coming off of Agnes Way off the Linford Pearson Highway, moderate flow of traffic, as well as Bobby Thompson Way. And as we look to downtown Georgetown, traffic is moving along pretty good on Edward Street, as well as into Georgetown on Shedden Road. From the West Bay Fourway, start flowing nicely. Huldah Avenue, steady but flowing traffic. Cool Road, of course, is steady traffic. Godfrey Nicks Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a good pace in both directions. Owen Roberts Drive, moderate flow of traffic. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12, we'll give you another look at traffic.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Radio Cayman. Biggest variety in the morning. Biggest variety. RC Fusion.
Following the 10 a.m. news headline.
Brought to you by TCE Paint Shop, 27 Godfrey Nixon Way.
RC Fusion.
The Georgetown Farmers Market. It's time you start eating local. The market at the Cricket Grounds.
My Kinda Cleaners. Call or WhatsApp 326-3379 for your free quote today. Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transportation, and Development. Also brought to you by Rosanna Dixon Insurance. Protect your family with critical illness coverage. Call Rosanna Dixon at 547-0952.
Biggest variety in the morning.
Radio Cayman.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, our conversation with Mr. Arden McLean, former Member of Parliament, former Minister, former Leader of the Opposition. We started this on Friday. This is paid segment, paid for personally by Mr. Arden McLean, explaining his position in relation to his appointment and revocation of appointment on the National Conservation Council, as well as the application for judicial review and the process that ensued during that hearing for judicial review. Mr. McLean.
Thank you, OC, and good morning to the Cayman Islands and its entirety. OC, on Friday when I came here, because of the shortness of time, I believe maybe I did not explain this thing as well as I should have. Because it's obvious there are a number of Caymanians who are unaware of what transpired here. And that was proven to me over the weekend, and also on Friday when you had a caller mention that he had heard me on your morning show with my gripes about the NCC. This is not about gripes. This is not about Arden McLean. This is about the country that you live in. This is about the rule of law. This is about the protection of the institutions that we have established within this democracy, and in particular, the protection of cabinet and its authority to make decisions. That is, if I have a gripe, that's it. It's not about me being on the board or being taken off the board. I stayed out of your politics for 4 years. I could have run in the last election. I made the decision not to. I had served my country for 30 years. And I thought someone else it should have been ready for someone else. Someone else should take that over. There's a new generation. So let me briefly recap what caused us to reach this point. Now, sometime in February, the Premier, Ms. Julie, called me and asked me if I would sit on the NCC for her. See, I at first said no, because I had said to the other members of Cabinet in that 4 years that I was not going to sit on boards because the wounds were still too fresh. And people would view me as having some bias towards where I had come from and what my position on these matters were. After reconsidering, I said, okay, I will do it because the election is coming up. And just for continuity, I would sit on the board.
Okay. Yep.
And then after election, we need to reorganize this, Julie. And yes, Julie's a friend of mine. You know, we're colleagues. We're colleagues of 20 plus years. And like Roy Bodden used to say, that this is a fraternity. We not many people get into this. Okay, and we need to look out for each other and help each other. Anyway, when I found out, after agreeing to do it, that she had also appointed Steve McField, Ezard Miller, Captain Eugene, and Gilbert McLean as the chairman, I naturally called, and Ezard Mill. I said Ezard, right?
Yeah.
Did I say that? I called some of them. We were all colleagues, former colleagues, and they said yes. So I said, listen, I'm only doing this to carry us through to the election, after the election. Anyway, before the ink could be dried on it, and they sent me an email saying that I had been appointed. I learned that there was a judicial review application by two of the former members who was on there, namely Stuart Mailer and Barbara Bradley. And then there was the one who is now chairman, who was going to resign if we stayed on the board. He was not going to sit there with us. He was left on the board. I was a little shocked. Nevertheless, I spoke to the chairman, and we met briefly to find out what was going on. Not the board. It was just the new members.
Okay.
Yes, the board hadn't met. The board needs to advertise at least 7 days prior to
a meeting.
Yes. So, in their intervention, they wanted a judicial review on what Cabinet had done and wanted themselves reinstated to that board and remove us because they claimed we were on the side of developers and we...
You have the actual application for judicial review?
Yeah. And we were going to destroy all that they had done. So, I was a little taken aback to think that we're talking about 5 members of Parliament, former members of Parliament, who had served in various capacities in Parliament. 5 members, probably nearly 70 years total experience, collective experience in the governance of this country. So like I said, I was taken aback, but Cabinet can be reviewed on anything. But here we are for a board. Yet the law allows Cabinet to change the board, okay? The way they see fit. And they named us as interested parties. They named us as interested parties on this suit. So I naturally started trying to find out. So we decided the chairman decided to have a meeting to consider it. And the meeting was supposed to be the 31st of May.
April?
No, April. I thought it
March then.
March. And they brought a new suit to stop us from having the meeting. Okay? Brought a stay to stop us from having that meeting. The same 2 people. And they were granted that stay. So the court then said there is a stay in place and the council cannot meet, and if they want to make decisions, they have to apply
to the court.
The council has to apply to court to within 72 hours of having a meeting to get a variation on that order. NCC must do it. No one else. So when that came
but doesn't that almost tie your hands, because you can't make any decisions, but you can make a decision to apply to the courts for variation.
Right. So how are we going to meet to do it? Right. We question that as well, but who are we to question it, as individuals? So in the meantime, we couldn't meet. There was no way we could meet.
Yeah.
So the court date then was set for the 15th of May, which is after the subsequent to the election. So we're preparing for that. I sought legal advice. And there was not much that I could do as an interested party. So let me just read what the court order said. The applicant for leave to apply for judicial review, and if granted, the application for leave to apply for judicial review, and if granted, the application for judicial review shall be listed on a roll-up basis and shall be listed to be heard on the 15th to the 16th of May 2025 before Carter J. Judge
Justice
Carter.
Yeah.
Justice. 2. The National Conservation Council shall not make any decision pending the final determination of the claim for judicial review or further order. 3. The National Conservation Council may apply to vary or discharge the order on paragraph 2 of this order on 72 hours notice to the applicants and respondent. Okay, which is those
the two
people,
persons, right, and
cabinet.
and cabinet, yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So we didn't make any on talking to the chairman and other members. The chairman saying he wasn't applying for any. And there was correspondence between the chairman and us and the secretary on different things. In the meantime, it would follow that if the NCC does not, cannot make a decision, it would follow that the DOE can't, right? Because they work under the NCC for that purpose, for those purposes. In the meantime, they're making decisions. That, I tell you, is one of the reasons I say that DOE is a threat to the existence and the advancement of Caymanians because they operate on their own. But you see, we haven't met yet. And they operate on the basis that the former board had given them directives for certain things. But that's not this board because we haven't met. So they all fall away. Okay? The NCC, if you want to call the NCC the entity that it carries on, then Cabinet carries on too. So, and we'll get to that, where Cabinet went and paid these people off and admitted that they were wrong.
When you say pay them off, you mean pay their legal fees?
Pay their legal fees? Well, that's taking people's money and paying them. Okay, so...
Yeah, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Mr. Arden McLean will continue. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, paid segment, Mr. Arden McLean. Back over to you, sir.
All right. Well, see, very quickly, let me try to touch on some of these points. So then on the Monday before the 15th, we were contacted by Mr. Bothwell, the secretary to the board. And Mr. Bothwell wrote us saying that there was a Zoom meeting scheduled for Tuesday the 13th, and that he hoped that we could attend for legal briefing. And he says in part, as you know, the judicial review of cabinet appointment of the NCC is scheduled for this Thursday and Friday, and and the NCC and individual appointed members have been named as interested parties to the JR. We have been able to retain independent counsel for the NCC and are arranging for them to brief you and answer any questions about the JR process. Mm-hmm. So I responded to Mr. Bothwell that night, probably around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, "Dear Mr. Bothwell, I find the comments of your email to be quite concerning and require further clarification on several key points. Firstly, you have informed me of a legal briefing scheduled for tomorrow, May the 13th, 2025 at 1 p.m. However, you have not identified the firm involved, which raises significant questions. Additionally, you have not indicated whether there has been any change in the court ruling regarding the council's authority to make decisions. Given these uncertainties, I must ask under what authority or at whose instructions you have retained legal counsel to represent the council and specifically myself without my approval or input in the selection of representation. As I understand it, the existing court order stipulates that the council cannot make decisions unless and until an application is submitted to and approved by the courts. Furthermore, the court's order effectively limits the council's operational capacity, which would seemingly also restrict the Department of the Environment from making decisions on behalf of the council. Yet, DOE appears to be doing so. The National Conservation Council clearly grants the council absolute authority over its affairs, and as outlined by Mr. Michael Smith email dated March 25, 2025, titled Guidance of NCC Operation Pending Legal Challenge, and as affirmed by Section 3 of the Act. In light of this, I must ask, has the council formally delegated its function to DOE in accordance with Section 3? If no such delegation is in place, then your actions raise serious concerns given the provisions of the National Conservation Act 2013. Additionally, I, like Mr. Miller, because Mr. Miller has written, have observed the plaintiff's legal representative's misrepresented position I have taken in parliamentary debate. I feel compelled to clarify that such mischaracterization will not go unchallenged, as they have directly impacted my reputation and integrity. I look forward to your prompt response and clarification on these matters prior to me deciding whether or not to attend any Zoom meeting with legal representatives whom I do not know. Regards, Arden McLean. And he responded and said, "Thank you for your email. I'm sorry to have caused you any concern. Priestless is the company which has been retained by Council Secretary with the approval of our ministry to provide legal services to the NCC and perhaps general advice to the individuals who are also interested parties in this judicial review. I'm sorry that I did not mention the name of the firm retained earlier. The Attorney General Chambers had first indicated that they could not do so and approve the retention of outside legal services. I'm not aware of any change to the court rulings regarding the council's authority to make decisions. The council does have absolute authority over its own affairs within the law, true. The question for council today is if council will avail itself to the legal services now available. This was not a question I could put to the council until I knew that legal representation could be made available. If the council chooses not to, or potentially if a clear direction cannot be obtained from the council, then priestless representation will end or put on hold until, and if needed, council could also decide that you do wish services but not priestless. If council agrees, then priestless can continue to undertake basic legal services to the council, example, receiving service of documents on council behalf and answering any question council may have about the legal situation. Mm-hmm. If council wishes to make use of the legal representation now available beyond those basic legal services, then the extent and nature of that representation is a question for counsel and the council's attorney to decide on what position, if any, the council wish to take in the JR. As for counsel's ability to make such a decision regarding routine legal representation, priestless can speak to that today, but they have made inquiries into that question as I judged it to be an obvious question, which the NCC would be able to receive legal advice on. What, if any, decision the NCC takes is the NCC's decision, of course. What, if any? Each individual person who is named interested party to the proceedings, such as yourself, will of course make your own decision regarding how you choose to engage with the judicial review. And this would be directed from the NCC, would be different from the NCC's position, if any. Priestess is not representing the individuals at this time. If individuals wish legal representation, that would be their decision. However, it was thought that some members might appreciate independent legal counsel on what being named an interested party to the JR means. Hence, again, attempting to be able to provide the support to NCC members named as interested parties. For clarity, only but all members of the current appointed National Conservation Council have been invited to attend the Zoom call today, regardless of status as a named interested person, party or not. The call today is for the NCC to be as brief as possible on the judicial review and to take any decision or not as it feels appropriate. Now, you say he don't know anything about that court order being changed. So when I got on to the Zoom OC, they started introducing themselves. And when they finished, the lawyer started speaking. So I said to him, before you go any further, how are we going to get over this legal hurdle we have with applying to the court for change, for variation?
Mm-hmm.
He said, we did that. I said, you did that? Without my and the council's approval? Are you kidding? Are you crazy? You have to be crazy, because I'm not going to be party to a contempt of court.
Mm.
That's not going to happen. Why are we here today? He said, well, they talked to Nelson's, and Nelson's and them agreed that the court order was not done properly, and they applied to the court to have a change. I said, without her approval? Without any member's approval? Are you kidding? I said, who instructed you? He said, the secretary did. I said, the secretary? Will you agree with me that, one, the secretary has no authority to do such. Two, that a secretary job is merely to take minutes and take instructions
from the board.
From the board. And the secretary has not been instructed, not to my knowledge, by the board, because I have not been summoned to any meeting to discuss this matter. Are you all out of your head? If you think I'm going to be party to that, then you have made the biggest mistake of your life. He said, well, the secretary was trying to help. Helping is coming to us and saying, we need legal representation and let's see how we can do it. That is advice from the secretary that I would have expected. And then we talked to the Attorney General and asked him how to go around it, to get to it and go to the judge and ask for us to do this. We don't need lawyers for that. We can go there and make the application. So I came out of the Zoom call. I said, I'm not going to be party to this any longer. But before leaving, I asked them, I said, can I see the application you made to the court? And the new varied order.
Yeah.
I am yet to receive that. Because the only way they can make an application to the court is say that we act on behalf of the National Conservation Council.
Mm-hmm. So how do you get a copy of that?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go to the courts and see the Chief Justice, make representation to the Chief Justice or something. I hope this is not how our judicial system is working. Trust me. This is not the jurisprudence that I expected, that I am accustomed to in this country. That's why I tell you, the threat is within that Department of Environment. We have to be very careful. The human advancement and the total control, that's why those people made this judicial review. They made this because they are friends with people like Wayne and the Department of Environment and Andre. And it's wrong. And we have to be very careful. And if you, my fellow Caymanians, think this is a gripe, stand by. Watch this space. I have spoken to at least 5 lawyers over the weekend, QCs and whatnot, and they are very concerned about what the government has done here. Very concerned. Anyway.
Okay, got to take a break, commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Again, welcome to this paid segment by Mr. Arden McLean explaining the judicial review process in relation to the cabinet of the Cayman Islands appointment of members of the National Conservation Council. Mr. McLean.
Okay, thank you, O.C. again. So then the court, this is Tuesday now, O.C. The court is, the hearing for that on the application for JR is scheduled for Thursday and Friday. So Tuesday night, Wednesday evening, I think, the lawyer for the government, Mrs. Smith, wrote me apologizing for the late, but in essence saying that he heard that I wanted to make representation to the court on the delivery of documents and whatnot, which is another subject that the Nelsons tried doing that and they never turned up. And then the lawyer, she writes me as Arden, addressing it to Arden, which I put on her place with that. And so we go to court. They told me, and I said to the lawyer, of course I'll make representation. I would love to. And it was, as far as we know, scheduled for 10. So all of us turned up there at 10, only to find out that it was for 9:30. When we told the clerk, the attendant, what are they called again? The people in the courtroom that assist the judge. Anyway, we told them that we were there then. She informed the judge, and the judge postponed the hearing because the courtroom was too small to move to another courtroom to accommodate all of us. The speaker was there, the chair, Mr. Gilbert was there, Cam Eugene was there, and I was there, and Mr. Kenneth Bryant, I think, was also there, like 5, 6 of us. And when it resumed, the judge asked the applicant's attorney, QC, to do a brief overview of what had transpired in that half hour. And he just basically said that the judge had approved an application from Priestley's to be removed as the lawyer for the NCC. Of course, that too came as a surprise, but now I understand. Since then, talking to a lawyer, if you're a lawyer for a client, you have to register it with the court. Mm-hmm. So in that period, they had registered themselves as the lawyers for the NCC, and now applying to be removed. Mm-hmm. Because of what I said on the Tuesday. I don't care. I didn't care. I was not prepared to subject this country to that kind of abuse. I was not. Anyway, that lawyer then continued to make their application, their presentation justification for a judicial review to be ordered by this judge, Judge Carter. And sometime around just after 1, he completed, and we went for lunch. And the judge said that we would resume at 2:30. I think it was like 1:15, 1:20 when we left, when she ordered the suspension for lunch. So when I got back there, shortly after I got back there, before 2:30, the lawyer for the government came to me and said, I was sitting outside the courtroom, said, I don't know if you know, sir, but you are no longer a member of the NCC. The government has just gazetted your removal and your replacement. I said, okay. Well, but I must say to you, sir, that you're the last person to know that. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I knew that from 7 o'clock this morning, that that's what they were going to do. As a matter of fact, I called one of them and told them to be very careful with the precedent that they were setting. I told them that. One of the members of cabinet. They were supposed to get back to me. To this day, they haven't. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Anyway, they proceed, and the court was delayed a little bit because they were back and forth with the applicant. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when the court resumed, they announced that they had made an agreement with the applicants to withdraw, abandon the case, because they have now changed the members, and it's a new board, making it very obvious that it was us that these people had a problem with, okay? Because they wanted to be reinstated, okay? Anyway, the judge was quite receptive to that. Mm-hmm. She will understand, because she said, well, this has public interest.
Yeah,
it is always good to see the two parties coming together in an agreement. Mm-hmm. But part of that agreement was that the government had decided to pay their costs. And you know how much cost is being racked up with QC and the whole law firm and whatnot. And if they couldn't come to an agreement, they would go back to the court. That's neither here nor there for me.
Yeah,
I couldn't care less.
But you would have an interest to know what it costs the government, and you press that by by freedom of information request.
Absolutely, at some stage. However, when the lawyer for the government was making his presentation about this thing, another QC that government had gone and hired, he said, Your Honor, we do know that there are other parties involved here, meaning the interested parties. So we don't know where that is going to go. So that follows then that those interested parties, which include myself, if they can sue Cabinet about moving them off, then it follows that I should be able to sue them too. Okay?
Yeah.
But I respect the institution of Cabinet so much because of my many years of experience in it that I would never, ever do that. That's not what this is about. What I'm concerned about, OC, is that this government, this Cabinet, has conceded the authority of Cabinet, the members of this Cabinet, because Cabinet goes on in perpetuity. Long after you and I go on, Cabinet is
it's
going
the institution,
to be there. It's
not
the institution
who occupies the position at any point in time.
That's right. So let's look at this from this point of view. If the objective was, if these people's objective of bringing this review was that these guys are not fit, which is what they said. We were fit to act as members of the, to be on the board. Okay, let's say we weren't. Cabinet has now removed those members. Why are you going to pay them? Why are you paying them for bringing a lawsuit against Cabinet? Let it continue, and if that was their real reason, then they would abandon the case themselves. But you paying them to step away from it. And when they didn't, as a result of paying these people and abandoning this case, we are yet to know what legally Cabinet is required, what authority they have. If we had made it gone through, forget about removing us, that's fine. Let it go through and defend Cabinet and protect it to the extent of the law, which means going straight to the Privy Council and getting an order from the Privy Council as to whether or not Cabinet has the authority to change people. We are now no better off. Anyone can judicially review Cabinet on removing them from a board. You sit at the pleasure of Cabinet, the members of Cabinet. No one.
It is not a right.
It's not a right.
Doesn't even
it's a privilege.
Clear to an absolute right even.
Yeah, but these people come to our country, and I said this before, and they label us as anti-expat. Anti-expat. These people, along with some members of Cabinet, must now be called anti-Caymanians too. Because don't tell me that my track record and the track record of these other people are not suited to sit on a board in this country and know what is best for this country. I want them to remember, and briefly, I want them to remember who took center stage in this country during 2011-12 when Joe Imperato wanted to dig a dock out in East End. And it was my considered view and that of many people in this country, conservationists as well, that water lens in East End was going to get damaged. We were within 1,300 feet of it or something, 1,100 feet or something. We used 1,300 because of a quarter mile. we were within a quarter mile of it, and this same little Arden McLean that buck out his toe in East 10, Miss Bradley and Mr. Mailer, stood up to Joe Imperado and McKeever's government at the time and told them that I was going to lay down in front of the first bulldozer that came there. And believe me, that was not a joke. That was a promise. And why did I do that? Because of my patriotism, because of the love I have for my country, to protect it for my grandchildren and their grandchildren to survive in this country and live the life that I have lived in this country. You know the irony of that is?
We're going to go to headline news. I'm going to bring you back after the news to give you an opportunity for some closing comments and talk about what the implications of this is and whether or not you want to tilt your hand in terms of whether or not you are considering any form of action that you may be considering as a result, of this abrupt ending as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
4 Cayman-based professionals have been honored in the CAPTIP Review Power 50 for 2025. They include Suzanne Sadlier, Paul Macy, Jenny Pooley, and Alana Trundle. The Insurance Managers Association of Cayman says this year's Power 50 list received over 2,000 nominations. Donald Trump has rebuked Vladimir Putin after more Russian missile and drone attacks on Ukraine. Trump wrote, quote, "I've always had a very good relationship with Vladimir Putin of Russia, but something has happened to him. He has gone absolutely crazy." In response, the Russian government thanked Trump for his work on fostering negotiations with Ukraine, saying, quote, "This is a very important moment, which is connected to an emotional overload of everyone involved and emotional reactions." Last night, Russia fired 355 drones and 9 missiles at Ukraine. Ukrainian Air Force says it was a record number of drones launched. Russia says it intercepted 96 Ukrainian drones across 12 regions overnight, including 6 over Moscow. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Wrapping up this paid segment with Mr. Arden McLean. I've invited him to stay on to talk about other topics that have emerged quite recently. Talk about the government's proposal to impose term limits on non-Caymanian civil servants, as well. The phone lines will be open in regards to those other issues as well. So, Mr. McLean, the implications, of this, as well as whether or not you want to tilt your hand a little bit as to where do we go? Where do you go from here with this whole issue? If, for instance, you have made requests for certain documentation and they haven't been, provided, to you, as well, whether or not you believe that there may be something to hide, whether or not you feel that you have been provided with all of the documentations that brings clarity to the decisions that were made as well.
Well, you know me, Jose. I love writing stuff. I love doing research. And I think maybe they missed the boat on that. So this is something I wrote. I wrote, and I wrote this prior to them, to the court, the case being abandoned. I said, now let's consider how absurd all of this really is. What would provoke someone to fund such a frivolous and particularly vexatious lawsuit against Cabinet? That's a question I need to ask. Lawsuits aren't cheap. So who's funding this? Maybe since they're so committed to transparency, they can disclose who's funding this lawsuit. I have my own thoughts on that. That might be very enlightening for all of us. Are these people really that desperate for power? Why? And what did they do anyhow? It seems to me that they had handed over most, if not all, of their power to the director of DOE anyhow. And she's running the show for them and then coming back to them afterwards for ratification on the director's decisions. Even lawsuits, she's doing that for. I'm starting to wonder if that's what has happened here. So since this matter is of such public importance, I would demand that they reveal who's funding this action, so that when I'm ready, I know whose name to add to the lawsuit I might bring against them. What are we concerned about anyway? That they won't be an external control or influence to the NCC board anymore, because we would actually do our jobs while we were on there. Because I think everyone knows that is what myself and the other 3 members who have been indicted would do. We will follow the law and we will do the best we could to do it without fear or favor. So I'm saying to the Mr. Mailer and company and your chosen counsel, beware the toe you step on today isn't connected to that you know what. And you will feel in the future. Now, OC, I got to show you how duplicitous those people are. Every Caymanian that tries to dig out, to cut one mangrove limb off to get through it is a problem. Yet, when DART, and I'm not saying anything bad about DART in this instance, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to make that clear. I agree with his decision in this instance. One of the rare times, but I do. When he opened that field down there that the CIS school use for all these people to play football and practice and whatnot. And in his infinite wisdom, they realized, the DART company realized, that's exposing our kids too much to different things. Could be ganja smoke there, could be condoms, all kinds of things that would expose our young children to that kind of behavior, okay? They made an application to dig out that swamp by Dog City, between Dog City and the National Gallery, to build fields. Not one word was said. Not one word. Mind you, I agree with it. Dig it out. And I hope that he finishes it quickly. But not one word was said. No objection to it. Yet, but you know why? Because that suits them. Their people down here can play football and rugby or whatever the case may be. Nothing can be said about that, okay? Then, let's look at Heather. She's a public figure. In 2005 to 2009 government, received which I was a part of, received an application from that family to dig out the North Sound. The government of the day, which included Kurt Alden, Chucka, and Anthony from Buttondown, we decided it was not in the interest of this country. Successive governments since then maintained that decision of cabinet, including Wayne. Wayne refused to give her permission to do it. Who is his sidekick? His colleague. When Julie took over in November 23, something like that, she gave him permission. Wayne has never opened his mouth in objection to it. That's how duplicitous these people are. But it's little people like me that the rest of them, Wayne and Andre, will support to sue cabinet and name me as an interested party. That's what we have, because they're friends, and then go and pay them with the people's money, not their own. I wonder if one of them was financing this. Yet people will call up your show and say that I have gripes. Yes, I have gripes. I have serious concerns about this. They are taking cabinet as a plaything, and it's to facilitate their friends. And that is the highest form of corruption any democracy can experience. That's what we have today. And people are excited about this government. I called your show right after they were sworn in. And I said to you, this is what the people have chosen. Mm-hmm. You need to give them a chance. Mm-hmm. Within 1 week, 2 weeks, they make such a decision. They can forget about Arden. Remove Arden from the board. Remove Gilbert. Everybody. Well, the speaker resigned.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that these people come here, we give them Cayman status, and they challenge our government. Tell them go England and America, Canada, wherever they come from, and challenge them. They do not even get near the politician. They vote for them based on what they see on TV. And here we are, giving them the opportunity to beat the people, the very people that we have elected to govern our country. But then those who we give that opportunity to acquiesce and suck up to their friends. That is corruption at its best. And tell them to point at me when they say which one I did it with. That's what I want them to do, because I'm pointing at them. They need to answer this to the people of this country. And fellow Caymanians, yeah, you may say that Arden is angry. You may say that. Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry because our country is sliding, and the only persons responsible for it is the members of cabinet. You cannot have a legal counsel advising you today that, counsels don't advise unless they can defend it. You know that. Mm-hmm. See, we all know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you go to a lawyer to get defense. Counsel advise that what cabinet is doing is correct. They got to defend that. And as soon as the next cabinet come in within 3 months, they instruct to reverse that? Are you kidding? Now I understand policies and whatnot. But you got to remember, 3 of them are supposedly attorneys, in cabinet, Well, 2 in cabinet of the members of the political directorate. And then 1 sits outside directing everything like a puppet master, Wayne. This is serious. This is serious, fellow Caymanians, and I beg of you to keep a close eye on it. It is going to destroy your democracy, and they're coming up now with reform. OC say you want to talk about that afterward. That is the beginning. What they did out there on the 15th day of May will be remembered forever in our democracy. I do not know how the governor sat there and did nothing. Maybe she did, but it's a domestic matter.
Yeah, limited in terms of
limited in what she can advise or what the Attorney General can advise. You know, he always used to tell me that he's a creature of instruction. So now we got, and within 3 months, he got to find some way to extricate the government from it after advising that, really?
Yep. Okay, folks, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, we will be changing the subject. The phone lines will be open as well. We're going to talk about various other things within government. So that paid segment now has ended. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Attention Northside and East End residents. The Department of Environmental Health Northside and East End Bulk Waste Collection will take place between May 26th to 30th. This bulk waste collection will replace the traditional year-end collection. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside, where it's easily accessible to the DEH's collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains, or place tires, construction, and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the North Side and East End bulk waste collection from May 26th to 30th, please contact the DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6696.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on a regular programming now. Our phone lines are open. Toll-free number 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. We have our WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning,
yes,
caller.
Good morning.
Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning. Good morning.
I would like to see it looks like the government is setting the right example now with this immigration thing that they're putting in place.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully there will be certain laws put in place now concerning the private sector.
Yeah, I think the deputy governor did refer to that. He said he wasn't going to, and these are my words now, steal the minister's thunder, but he would be bringing forward changes to the Immigration Act as well, as far as the private sector and work permits are concerned.
Yeah, something has to be done, and I think they're doing the right thing. We have over 700 children graduating every year in the Cayman Islands. So this law being put in place will help them to be less concerned about their future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. We have another caller on one of the landlines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Oh, Mr. Arden still there?
Yes, he is.
Mr. Connor, on just about three days or so ago, on Crew Road there by Palmdale, when the bus stopped, our children stepping down, and on the second step of the bus, a car crossed the bus door, and the bus door is open, the legs are on. I do not know how much more we can do to protect ourselves on the road with these people that are driving like they don't see the bus don't mean nothing to them. I keep saying the bus door is on the left-hand side of the bus, so when the bus is stopped, these people need to learn to stop, and they need to put some fine in place if these guys keep passing these bus doors and the boat to kill our children. You know, something needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to you some time ago in regards to especially the primary schools. They're not opening the gates until 7:30. Mr. Connor, we got children going to the schools sitting down on cold cement, waiting for the gate to open. Security's there, and won't let them in. So to me, the child is unsupervised at degree. Cars is parked up there waiting to go take their child into it. Plus, they got to go to work. So I'm just asking if they could consider opening these school halls at 7 o'clock and hire someone to come in and collect these children until it's time for them to go to the breakfast section and then into the classrooms and bring them back on the afternoon, just like a bus warden. You understand? Something needs to be done. Rain and sunshine, these kids are outside sitting and waiting to go in, especially the primary school children. Mm-hmm. And they say the children is the future of this island. Someone need to take this serious. And we need some protection on our school buses when we are dropping our children off every evening. And even picking up some mornings, they want to act the fool up there as well, too. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that. We,
comment on
Sure. Yeah.
I can show you correspondence OC where I, as a member of Parliament, I made suggestions on how to deal with people passing the bus. It's a simple procedure. It's a simple fix. Every bus should have cameras mounted on them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When that bus is going to stop, they turn on the flashing lights. And as a result, this stop sign comes out on one or two, both sides of the bus. Incorporated in that switch can also be power to those cameras. Simple. And it's not going to cost this country much money. We just need cameras on the bus, and we prosecute accordingly.
But I'm quite sure that we pay those bus companies generous. They have very generous contracts with the government of the Cayman Islands. Shouldn't part of that contract include that they must have buses that are properly equipped to protect our children and to record? Well, this may be putting it a little bit too far in terms of you saying to them that they should police, but at least to detect any transgressions.
But we need to change the traffic law to allow it to happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's on both sides. I know we changed it to allow the Commissioner of Police to use cameras, but we need to specifically say for buses as well. I believe it may be that covers it, but just in case it doesn't, we need to talk about buses mounted with cameras mounted in buses, and it's an offense, and that can be used as evidence in court as well. We need to ensure that it does. It's not going to. If we want to demand that the buses provide cameras as well, then that's fine. I am easy with that, but that's one way of doing it. But it is so much more that needs to be done also, in that other cameras needs to go up in this country to prosecute poor, bad, nasty driving. I mean, I see the NRA trying to stop people from turning across into Poindexter, put up the barriers. And you know what they do? People come into the opening up there just above it and drive down the sides of the road down to Poindexter. That's what they do. And that's the kind of behavior we need to arrest. Pardon the pun.
Okay, I think we have a WhatsApp caller next. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning, Mr. McLean.
Good
This
morning.
is Carrie from the BRAC.
Good morning.
How y'all doing today?
Fine, and yourself?
Good morning.
Great. I want to say that it appears that we need to put some kind of stoppage or blockage to parties getting on boards that are not native Caymanian. I'm sorry, we need to water down status holders' rights in this country, because if we don't, they're going to be the ruination of our country as we see it now going on with how they take this money from Darwin and go kill all the cats and say the cats are all feral. Listen, I have the only cat sanctuary in the Cayman Islands, the only one, okay? And I have so many cats in this sanctuary they have labeled as feral. And those are the calmest, sweetest, most beautiful animals. And please tell me why we got to keep killing the cats. And the minister, Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, she told me they had stopped. And I come to find out they're not. They're setting traps again in Little Cayman. And it's these particular folks that come into our country who say that they have the right to come here and kill animals here that were here longer than I was and been no problem to this country. And then we have some of our own people that are truly idiots who refuses to accept that, there's no feral cats in this country, and that, yes, the feral cats are the same ones that are killing iguanas and boobies. And it's not the fact. We got video of chicken hawks killing boobies. We got videos of tourists chasing boobies off of their nest. And when you chase a booba bird off her nest, she leaves her babies or the eggs there. And what do you think happened to them? Rats go and get them. Chicken hawks go and get, even frigate birds go and eat the eggs. We got so much proof of all of that. But yet our government refuses to come and say anything to us about it, because we're not waiting from overseas and with a funny last name. And that's why we praise them when they come into our country and disperse poison into it, because they couldn't do it in their own country. You hear me? If they were able to do what they're doing in our country, in their country, they would not be here, because they couldn't find the life they wanted in their country. So they came, interjected themselves in here and brought all their nasty, detrimental habits and put them in our country, and our government is gobbling it up like poison. And I hope it poison a lot of them, because you know what? They're not standing up for the people of this country. Not one of them that has been voted in on the 30th of April has shown me they are doing anything for us already. You see what they come now with? I don't know if you can still hear me. You see what they come now with?
Can.
They come now with, we're putting this term limit on civil servants. Really? Really? It's not even enshrined into the PSML. public service management law. It's not even been enshrined there. It's not even enshrined anywhere else. It's just a policy. So it can be retracted. It can be
Well,
taken
no,
out.
let me correct you there. They have made a decision that they will be bringing legislative changes in our parliament to make it law. So right now, only the announcement has been made. The finer details in terms of the draft legislation and all of that is yet to come. So we've only heard the beginning of it, not the end.
You and I know that, Mr. Connor. We all know the hoopla of things like this. We know that they're going to say that they're going to do this, but we know in a few months from now, that's going to be forgotten about and it's not going to get legislated.
Okay.
You and I know that. We've been around long enough to see that. I've seen it over the years. I've followed my government from I was in ponytails. That's why I know when they're telling a lie. And I can tell you, I can see the lie written all over some of their faces already. It's all a distraction for the voter to believe that they're going to do something to sympathize with the native Caymanian, to protect Caymanian. And we need to differentiate now. A status holder from a native Caymanian, we want that differentiation. I'm sick of us being watered down in our country, and you know what we have now? We're a minority. And how did we get there? We trusted the wrong people to run the country.
Okay.
Mr. Arden, it's good to hear from you. Give them hell. If you need me to throw in a rocks in that pig pen for you, I happily do it any day of the week. Mr. Connor, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You do the same as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly. We do have a couple of callers on hold. We will take those callers as soon as we return.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Phone lines open. Mr. Arden McLean has stayed on to talk about various other topics as well. One of our listeners said, "Amen, Miss Carey. Hats off to you." 2 callers on hold. Let's grab the first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Arden.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Arden, I thank you for doing your service with what you have to go through, boy. Trust me, I imagine what you gotta go through here. These people, I say since 2000 and I would say 19 when we start learning how to use social media like everybody, and now face to face is not really face to face anymore. It's just screen to screen. And I bet you would be a real fright for them in real life.
Well, I believe. Okay, you're an intelligent little fella. You remember Dr. Martin Luther King said that we anywhere there is injustice is a threat to justice anywhere. Wherever there is injustice, it is a threat to justice anywhere. Well, let me add one little piece on that for you, son. Wherever there is injustice, you're going to find Arden McLean with a clenched fist.
I like that one. I can remember that. Speaking about like traffic safety, I really have an advocate about it because I've lost a lot of friends and I've seen why, where, and how they do it, and it really sad to see how people drive on our island. And I wish on our island, but mainly our island, Grand Cayman, right? We have both cyclists and drivers that are maniacs. Mr. Orrett Connor, this excludes you. I know you do your cycling and your group do the cycling as best as you guys can do it, but they have individuals like this morning that I've seen on the road swerving in and out of traffic. I don't know what it is that they feel exempt on these racer bicycles, that they can do anything on the road.
And these are pedal-powered bicycles, not electric bikes.
These are the pedal-powered.
Okay, got you.
Yes, sir. And that's why I say I'm excluding you, because this was a single person that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not you, and I know it's not a group of you. And, I just say that whenever these people believe that they are exempt from death because they are cyclists and we advocate for safety, road safety, they have to do their part too. And I advocate that everybody's job is to stay alive. Everybody's job on this island is to stay alive, which means we have to stay awake, which means we have to pay attention. And half of the people on this island don't even pay attention.
Son, when I was minister, 2005, 2009, we were building the highways. OC was the cabinet secretary at the time, right, OC? Mm-hmm. And when we brought up in cabinet that I was going on this campaign to build roads, the first thing OC said was, Minister, I need you to put bicycle lanes on those roads. I tried. We did what we did. We put. I strongly believe we put them too narrow. OC, not for single file, but if we had put them a little wider, we could have at least two people side by side, like couples or something like that. So maybe we messed that up a little bit, OC. But
yeah, because when you look at the Esterly Tibbetts Highway, in the way that it was done down there, you actually have two lanes, so it's almost like a driving lane,
right?
As well. You got one for walking.
We could have done that a little different.
Yeah. Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much. Anything else that you want to say before you go, very quickly?
Yeah. I would like to see if I could help a little thing in the mornings with some sort of traffic issue that we got, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to explain this. I did a little brief explanation on it on the afternoon show, but I'm gonna try to do it this morning a little bit better. You see, when we are in West Bay, we have 2 lanes coming into the roundabout, going to Yacht Club and on the highway, coming from the fire station. And it would be very useful for the people on the highway coming from Barbanu if they would keep the left lane open. So when you're entering in on the roundabout, going on the right lane to entering in on the roundabout, going to Georgetown, coming from the fire station, and leave the left lane open, it might can ease a way for the people coming from Barbanu to get through at least in one lane on the left lane if they're coming out. And it's not too much people to start traffic if we ever start doing that. All we have to do is switch to the right lane instead of staying on the left lane and then taking way for everybody that could use that road coming from Barbados. That's all I'm saying. It wouldn't hinder nobody coming from the fire station.
Son, you sound like the eternal optimist. They're not going to do it.
No, I just saying because I'm frustrated every morning. That
Yeah, I know.
It could be a whole lot faster if we take the highway, but it's a lot faster going from the fire station, which is a lot longer for me.
Right. But you're eternal optimist, my son. These people.
Anyway, caller, thank you very much for that suggestion. Hopefully, someone is listening.
It's a good suggestion.
Yeah. And, again, those roundabouts there, when we look at the amount of traffic that we have now and we see that most roundabouts are being enlarged now, we knew that that's something that we should have done from the get-go. We
and
have
people
a
need to learn how to go around
them, exactly.
How to use them.
But we're still very myopic in our planning in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, but
very
see, I don't know. I don't agree with you with that. What happens is that people do not understand a roundabout, and they're in a rush, and they're trying to circumvent how a roundabout should be utilized.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good traffic calming measure and directional measure, a roundabout, and people need to understand how to use it, and if you use it properly. Because you're supposed to give way to the ones on your right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it can be efficiently done. Let's look at England. England got more roundabouts than you can shake a finger at. Some of them have lights on them.
Yeah.
But they, you know what makes them operational? People are required to use their indicators, and that's a practice in England. And that way, they are very efficient.
Yeah. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. I'm just thinking about the situation with the term limit with the civil service.
Mm-hmm.
It haven't been implemented in law as yet or whatever. But I don't understand when it comes to our people, it's so hesitant. Because, or be a benefit for our people, I should say. And I got to emphasize our people now because it's not much of us left. Our local Caymanian people, okay? They can run to the cabinet when they want to approve them for emergency, when they want to get their hands on our money. But when it comes to salvation and saving our people, it seems like it's a problem. It's no time to hold up with this because right now, not even our children that coming out of high school can hardly even get a government job. And that was one thing that was common, even when they used to have the job fairs, CUC, FLO, everybody was just hiring them children, being hired and being trained on the job. I don't know why training on the job is so difficult these days, and a lot of these children are well equipped in technology. The simplest child that comes out of high school, even special education, they know a lot about computers. So I don't understand what is really going on. And why they're taking so long with this thing now and holding up in their hand.
Caller, let me interrupt you there. When you say taking so long, the government has only been in place since first week in May, right? We're on the 23rd.
The 6th or something?
Yeah, 6th of May, and we're the 23rd. So less than 3 weeks. They have already announced that they have already given drafting instructions in relation to this. I don't, while we may expect more, I don't think that there's anything that they can physically do faster physically than they have already been done. Has already been done, Mr. McLean.
Yeah, but the hesitation is that they're saying they're going to do a term limit, right? They're going to do a term limit. So what about those people that is in there now? They've probably been there for a long period of time or whatever, and those that have just got contracts and whatever, are they hesitant to touch them?
Well, that's
Are they going to be hesitant? Are they going to, let me speak for a second, are they going to have them to remain there and then turn around and get PR and status and this and that, or that term limit is going to fall on them also? How is that going to go?
Well, that's the question. That is the question that we all have. This afternoon, this evening, the deputy governor will be meeting with civil servants, to answer questions and everything else. We haven't gotten the full details yet. I keep getting WhatsApp messages here, about various things. One person said, well, you're going to have to wait for 9 years. There is no civil servant that I know that has a contract for 9 years, right? Non-Caymanian civil servant that has a contract for 9 years. The contracts are usually for 2 or 3 years at a point in time. So when the contract comes up for renewal, that is when the term the term limits will be factored. I don't believe that it's going to, from the 1st of January 2026, everyone is going to have 9 years or 8 years or whatever. I don't believe that is the case, well, not based on the explanation that I've been getting.
Well, that's the concern I have about it, OC, precisely what you're saying. One of the things I learned as a member of Parliament was when you're legislating laws, and I learned this not only here, this Attorney General reminded me of it many times. The less exceptions you put in law, the better the law is. Mm-hmm. Because it becomes too subjective. I heard Franz here the other morning, Friday I think it was, saying, well, the governor needs exceptions. The commissioner of police needs exceptions. The hospital, the teachers, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You might as well just throw it out the window, because that means every exception becomes subjective. And once you do that, well, OC can ride fast, but Arden can't.
Well, it depends on what those exceptions are. They may be exceptions at the hierarchy or someplace that we don't know what they are.
Exceptions are a replacement of proper planning. That's what the exceptions are.
Okay. Caller, I want to give you an opportunity to wrap up, please.
Yeah. One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's kind of difficult to get change when there are persons, or a lot, most or all persons that are a part of the problem. Okay, that's my word. I haven't called nobody's name.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, and for the other one is the 2 year rollover.
Mm-hmm.
2 years. By the time you wink your eye, 2 years is here. You understand? I think that they need to put at least 5 years before you can return back here to the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
2 years is just a slap and a joke and making fun of our people. 2 years is enough money that they save up that they can go back to their country and survive off of until they come back again, which a lot of them survive illegally and legally. So once they can get their foot here, they don't need to have no work. They're going to live.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, caller, for that. We have to go to a commercial break, or last break for the morning. When we return, we'll probably have less than 10 minutes to go in the show. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG Online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We will go to our WhatsApp caller in a second. Just want to make one clarity. My understanding when the Deputy Governor was on here was when he used education, Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, Health Services, those were examples that he was given as opposed to saying that those were the ones that would be excluded, from it.
Those are too many exceptions, my friend.
Yes. Let's grab the WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Hey.
Good morning, Mr. McLean.
Morning.
I just want to chime in as you try to wind down here regarding this issue of term limits. First of all, congratulations to the government for starting to deliver very early in their term. But even as I say that, I must say, in terms of as a criticism to the government as a whole, I don't know why, as Cayman, the government took like 20 years to introduce rollover in government as well, and why they've taken so long to come now and talk about jobs for Caymanians when this has been on the table for such a long time. I just want to make the point that if Cayman is going to take this long to deal with obvious problems, then we are not going to make too much progress.
It took us 20 years to get a speaker. We had in our constitution the fact that a speaker could be chosen from outside, and it took us 20 years to do that.
We are always slow, Billy. We are always slow.
Especially when it comes to our own.
And you remember the Constitution is very specific about certain people that does not fall under the immigration, which it falls under the governor. You remember that now?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Billy.
But we should not complain when it happens. We should just be happy it has happened. But remember. But remind people that these things should be done quicker. It should be done when the need is necessary.
Absolutely.
Once it's done, exactly. Now, I think you've raised quite a number of important points, and some callers have raised important points regarding this issue of transitional provisions, and by that I mean. It was not clear from what was said in the clip from the Deputy Governor and the Premier, and even from the statement, it wasn't very clear how the transitional provisions were going to be done. By that I mean, if you've been in government for 3 years, how does that affect you? If you have already made 8 years but you haven't applied, how does that affect you? If you have applied but you haven't got a decision, how does that affect you? Especially if you've applied, there's no negative response, but they have asked for further information. How does that affect you? In my view, those things should have been clarified in the statement. We shouldn't have to ask now exactly what is meant by, well, it is coming into effect on the 1st of January 2026. Because for me, as somebody who wrote legislation for such a long time, when they said that, I didn't understand what they meant. I didn't know whether they meant that if you have been in Cayman up to now, this period won't count, but your 8 or 9 years will start counting on the 1st of January.
But won't we see that, Billy? Won't we see that when the white paper comes out in relation to, is it a white, green paper, whichever one that comes out, where you have the bill, the draft bill that is going to Parliament? We will see all of that there. Right now, all the deputy governor did was give a synopsis of what is taking place. We don't know what's going to happen in the private sector. He did say he didn't want to steal the minister's thunder, but he knew that, what would also be coming would be changes to the Immigration Act in relation to work the work permit section as well. So I think we shouldn't be so reactionary until we see exactly what's there. And hopefully, the people of the Cayman Islands will get an opportunity to see what's there and to comment on it. I can speak personally for myself and to say that if it means that we won't see any rollover policy take effect until 9 years down the line, I'm going to rip up every piece of paper that I have in relation to it and, probably, resign from talk today for the record and get out there and really, really advocate for it, because that's not what we expect.
But Belair, NOC, Belair, you will recall this because I believe you were integrally involved in this. In 2003-04, when McKeever them gave out all those status grant, what the response to it was, the public was enraged, and we did legislation then based on the amount of years you were here. Like I think it started at 4 or 5 years. Don't quote me on that. If you were here 5 years, you had to apply at 7. I think it was, or 8 something. If you were here 9, if you were here 8 at the time, you had to apply for it within 3 months or something like that.
And you could put sunset clauses on things.
And there were sunset clauses, so to speak, built. And Billy, you know about drafting. I think there were sunset clauses for each category of years you had been here, if that's the way to explain it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Billy?
okay.
You recall that?
Yeah, but if you finish the point, I just want to make the point also about exemptions. I think you make a very valid point about exemptions, because a lot of times the exemptions can become the rule. Now,
that's subjective. They're too subjective, and exceptions or laziness for proper HR planning.
Yeah, exactly. You need to ensure that they are well defined, and also who makes the decisions. If it is only 1 or 2 people and so on, they can become the rule. But more importantly, before I sign off, what we have come to learn now is that there were not so many statuses being granted in government anyway. At least that's what I have learned. Because according to what the governor said on an interview I watched for her with Tammy Suleiman, she says, I hope I understood her. She said only like 90 status grants have been given in government for the last 20 years, because people tend to stay only 6 years and then they leave. Now, if that's the case, then I think that there were less status grants than we thought were being granted, although that's a loophole that has rightly been plugged. But what it means, I think it adds importance to the fact that it is necessary to establish targets. If you are having a country where you are granting statuses at $1,500 per year, which is about 30 per week, and then your birth rate is about 800 in Cayman, and of those 800, I believe that only about 600 or so are indigenous Caymanians. You are still being replaced at a very, very high rate, and I believe therefore they need to address the targets and see how they are going to monitor it. And in closing, by the way, that civil servant, the one who said that wrote some anonymous letter, I share your doubts. I share your doubts, OC, that probably that's not even a civil servant. I think that person, you should ignore what they are saying. They are a waste of time. This idea of balancing is not new. The government is aware of it. What we are talking about in Cayman today is kids going to get qualifications and coming back, they are not getting job. About work permits being given for little jobs like working on the till, which you can be trained to me in a matter of days, still being given work permits when other people are unemployed. I thank you. Have a good morning.
Thank you very much. Mr. McLean, 1.5 minutes for closing comments. Got a hard stop at 10 o'clock.
Okay, I want to thank you for allowing me to stay on.
Thanks for
I've
agreeing.
expired all of my paid time. I'm still saying to the people of this country, what I said earlier, you have to be very careful with. It has to be watched very closely. I am disappointed in what the government has done. Not only me, there are many others. And I need you all to think about this. This is your democracy. This is your country. You need to know where it's going. You need to get involved, because more and more these people who come here, they're colonialists and they want to control. They think that only them know anything. You know, the irony of it is that
God's gift to Cayman.
Yeah, and I am telling you, fellow Caymanians, a lot of it has to do with the complexion of your skin. They don't think you are capable of doing it, and they are the best, and they want it. And that Barbara, whatever her name is, and the other one, they are the epitome of colonialism and prejudices against us.
Folks, don't forget, join Mr. Charles Glidden at 12:15 for Talk Today. Have a great day, and please stay safe. And thanks for joining us this morning.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
Covering Little Cayman, Kim and Brad.